Welcome everyone, and welcome to Vibe Rides. We've got a few technical difficulties this morning, and it looks like we haven't been able to get on to and stream over to Facebook Live. So apologize for that. So if you didn't hear any of the music this morning that you're used to hearing and enjoy like I do, we'll see if we can get that fixed. And heck, I'm just checking some notes here. Okay, we are streaming okay now. So we should be good. So thanks again for joining us today. Welcome to our Vibe Rides driver update. My name is Scott Bachland, if you haven't been with us, and I'm here to help and guide you through the process of being a driver at Vibe Rides. So before we get going into the presentation this morning, it's fun because we get a chance to look based on our software and see where drivers are logged in at. And this morning, we've got more drivers logged in Dallas than any other city we're in. So Dallas right now has got more drivers online than Houston or Tampa or Orlando or Miami or Fort Lauderdale. So big shout out to all of our drivers in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that are online and working hard for Vibe Rides this morning. So thank you so much, and thank you to all you drivers that are online in the different cities. So one of the things I thought I'd step back this morning and talk about a little bit is we've been focused a lot on detail lately. Over the last few days, we've really gone into a lot of detail related to the applications and how things work and how they operate for you as a driver. But I just want to step back a little bit and talk again about the big picture. And in the big picture, this is really for some of our new drivers that are online, but I think it's good to kind of go back and reflect on how we got to where we are today. If you've been on with us, you've heard a couple of different concepts that I've used consistently over the last 3 weeks. One is that at Vibe Rides, we're just different. We're just different in the way we do things. And when we say we're just different, it's things like the music, which unfortunately you didn't hear today, but most of the time you hear our music that comes on ahead of time, that we've actually got songs that have actually been composed and written and performed just for Vibe Rides. It's kind of fun. Again, unfortunately we get a chance to see it, but if you've tuned in the other times, you see we've got a real fun commercial that comes on at the beginning of our shows usually, and that just gives you a little bit of an idea of who we are as a company. And then our whole concept of vibe and choose your vibe. And choose your vibe is the concept that you can actually decide as a rider what music you want to listen to in your car, as your rider what temperature you want the car to be, do you want to have interaction with your driver, those type of things that we're really trying to make it an experience for the rider. And when we make it an experience for the rider, that also makes it a great opportunity for you as a driver. And when I say a great opportunity for you as a driver, it really helps you connect with that rider before they get in the vehicle. You've got an idea and you know what they're looking for before they get in. Why is that important for you? That's going to help you in the whole experience. It's going to help you with your rating. It's going to help as it relates to tips. So, and plus we want to make it a fun experience. Just being different is the opportunity for us, to when you look at it, to really create more of an experience and an interaction between the rider and the driver. So when we talk about it's just different, we also talked about one of our meetings, we talked about our concept of girl power, which is a pretty cool safety feature that we do, which allows a female rider to only use female drivers. And on the flip side is it allows female drivers to only pick up female riders. And of course, ladies out there, that means we need you signing up as drivers to make this work. We have quite a few of you in already, but for girl power to work, we need a lot of those female drivers. So, and again, we talked about it last week. If you look at Vibe Rides launching on April 1st, it was, yes, I'll admit it was kind of an odd time for a company to launch. But in the midst of all of this, I kind of look for all of you drivers out there. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to get positioned to succeed at Vibe Rides. And what do I mean by that? I mean, get through the process, get in your application, get through the background check, get the vehicle inspection done, and be ready. This current situation isn't going to last forever. It's going to get resolved. I'd like to be able to say or know that it's shorter than later, but it's going to get resolved in the near term. But get yourself positioned and get yourself ready to go when things get back to normal. And we all know they're going to get back to normal, but get yourself positioned now. Don't wait for things to get back to normal and then decide like, oh, I think I'm going to go through the process now and get all my vehicle pictures uploaded and get my vehicle, inspected. Do it now. Be proactive. Be ready to succeed. Make yourself a plan. Know what you're going to do when this turns around and you're ready to go. So, that would be my encouragement for you today. And again, the reason we do these calls, that we're doing them on Tuesdays and Thursdays, is really for the drivers. Our goal is to connect with you as a drivers, to provide you with information, to hopefully make you as successful as you possibly can be. And us here doing this on a regular basis, and I've mentioned before, our marketing branding partner, iBoomerang, is also going to help us get in more more riders. So they're going to be focused on getting the riders for you. We're going to be focused here on Tuesday and Thursday to help you as the drivers, getting you all the information that you need to go. So, thanks so much for everybody being on the call with us tonight. Tonight. Some of you it's tonight. I guess I need to drink some more coffee because I don't know if it's day or nighttime. But thanks for tuning in with us today. And we're going to jump into the presentation for today. So with that, I'm sure Angela's going to pull up a starting slide for me.
I will in one moment. I just need to have access. Let's see here. I think Mark's got to pass it on over to me. Oh, I am. Hold on.
Are you guys in Atlanta yet?
We are not in Atlanta yet. So everybody out there, again, if you're new on the call, the cities that we're in right now are Dallas, Fort Worth. We are in Houston. So in Texas, we're focused on Dallas, Fort Worth, and Houston. In Florida, we're focused in Orlando, Tampa, Miami, and Fort Lauderdale. And that's where we're out for our initial launch. Okay, so we're into today's presentation. Again, you're in the Vibe Rides driver update. And for all of our Spanish-speaking people, I know this comes out on Vibe Rides also, but if they're just tuning in for the first time, you can get on the Spanish Zoom line at 443-186-957. Next slide, please.
How many people in y'all?
Wow, looks like we've got a lot of a marker. Angela, can we cut off all the other people talking into? Okay. Okay, so anyways, getting back to it here, as we always say, we've got a disclaimer on the front end that we always say is as we talking about different items, as we talk about the compensation plan, as we talk about how you make money, we're not making any guarantees about the numbers that you see. Anything that's here is going to be based on your commitment level and your marketing skills. Next slide, please. Okay, software features update. So this is something that's very critical that we're going to do for you drivers at the start of our presentations on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're going to make sure that you understand where we're at from a software feature update, what version of the software we're on. If there was something that was wrong in this software from the last time we talked and it's fixed, so we're going to talk about that. And for this section, I'm going to bring Angela on the call. And Angela's going to walk you through the latest software feature updates. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Angela, and welcome.
Good morning. For me, I'm in Houston, Scott, and it's good morning to you, sir. Okay, let's get rolling here. Again, I just wanted to reiterate the fact that we're doing these software feature updates because there's a lot of individuals out there who've not done rideshare before. So we've got drivers who are very experienced out there, and that's fantastic. But we also have individuals who are not. And so we are going through this type of updated information So we make sure that everyone gets all the information they need in order to be a great driver. Okay, so we appreciate your patience for all those road warriors out there who are experienced, but this is for all of us together as a family to be able to service the community and the riders the best way we can. Okay, so we're gonna go. There we go. Updated features that were just recently made. And we actually had a few more come through overnight and this morning. So we're going to talk about the versions in a minute. But let's start with driver ride cancellation button and the rider trip cancellation button. So we had a challenge, and you know what? That's part of development in apps. We're going to have some bugs, and it's going to happen. So sometimes when you're fixing one thing, something else breaks, and that's what they say in the dev world. So we fixed the ride cancellation button. So what was happening is they weren't able to cancel the ride, and the rider wasn't able to cancel either. So there was a challenge between connections there. And what we did was we fixed that bug, and we're all ready to go. And that's why the driver rider, the next point, was able to now disconnect as per request. Yeah, we've had people that were connected trying to disconnect from a ride, and the driver was trying to do it. And the rider thought the driver wasn't wanting to do it. But what was happening is it had nothing to do with the fact that no one wanted to do it. There was a disconnection, and we now connected that, and it's working great. So that's a new update. We had some new, there's so many types of phones and styles and models out there, and we're trying to capture all that we possibly can. Just recently, we had some Android phones, specifically Samsungs, who had some bugs in them where they had some glitches regarding registration. And so we fixed that as well. So that's been updated. So let the Android users, the Samsung users, let them know that that's been updated. Rider notification of no drivers in your area. So we added a pop-up, so a push notification on the rider side, where if there's no driver in their specific area, that it would pop up and let them know. Of course, we thank them for wanting to get a ride with Vibe Rides, but we wanted to also let them know, hey, at this moment, specifically in your area, we had no drivers available. And then again, we thank them for their patience, of course, but that pop-up is up now. Driver on login blank map, that was fixed. So we had some drivers logging in, and for some reason the map was coming up, but the actual icons and so forth weren't coming up, and that was fixed as well. So anyone out there who was having that challenge, we've got that all good now. Driver error message, match failed, that's been fixed. So what was happening is people were registering and trying to fill out the fields like as they should, and for some reason in some areas like the VIN numbers and so forth, and their personal information, there was an error coming up that the match was failing. So we've got that bug fixed as well. All right, so here we go. Actually, since this screenshot, just wanted to let everyone know the version has increased. So the version is now 38. And the reason why we're showing this to you is because we wanted to show you exactly where you would find your version, because we want to make sure you're up to date on your version. So right now we are at 38. As you can see, so the first screen will show you where to go and find your version. You would click on the menu, which is right here, these three little lines right here. You would click on that. The next page would take you to your menu. And on the bottom left there, your version of your app was 34. But since last night and early this morning, it has gone to 38. So that tells you we're doing a bunch more updates that we'll announce to you what they are specifically. And then it's 38 now. So we just wanted to make sure you knew that. On the driver, you are at 38 right now. Okay, oh, the refresh notification. Well, that's part of the updates. So instead of having to check every time and not knowing if your app is up to date, we are doing it for you. So this is a reminder pop-up that's going to come up every time you go online, and it will literally, you click on refresh, it'll refresh automatically right from the beginning. So once you're into the system, you're up to date. Okay, so here's the rider side. I mean, part of the service industry, you want to make sure the rider, if they have any questions, and maybe you want to know, hey, your app's not working really good, or something's going on, there's some glitches, you can let them know, let me see what version you're on, just to make sure. So this is, again, this is their page when they their landing page, and their menu bar is on the top left. So you'll see it, the 3 lines here. Once you click that, it'll take you to their menu page. And on the bottom left, their version right now is at 47. So the rider should be at 47 right now. Okay, so we're going to repeat this because we've had some people ask questions on Facebook and on the Zoom in regards to where are our service areas? Can you repeat that? Absolutely, we can. We're going to go through it real quick, but before I do that, I also wanted to let everyone know the service areas will be on our website at www.viberides.com. We will have that either by the end of today or tomorrow, the latest. The maps will be there. You can access them both on the rider and the driver side, so you know what service areas that we have at the moment. Okay, so these are accessible. They will be accessible, and so I'm just going to go through them real quick. So this is service area Houston, Harris County. So this blue shaded area is the service area. And FYI, just want to let you know, if you go outside the service area, you're still fine. You can drop off on the outside of the service area. That's not a challenge at all. Just want you to come back in and stay within this vicinity. The reason why we have the shaded area is because we know where the rides are coming from currently, and we want you to be as efficient as possible. And so we want you to come into this area where all the rides are concentrated, mostly concentrated. So that's the reason why we have the service area, okay? Service area Dallas-Fort Worth, and Dallas-Fort Worth out there, you guys are cranking it up. We're seeing a lot of action there lately, so that's really great. So good on you, Dallas-Fort Worth. And so this is their shaded area. Again, same thing. You can go and drop off outside the area. That's not a problem. You're going to have rides that go outside the service area, but what we want you to do is come back in as soon as you can, so that you get your rides where our rides are concentrated, so you can be really efficient and get those pings, okay? All right, so we've got service area Miami, which is Dade County. So Dade County is right here in the shaded area, okay? It's just at the cusp of Hollywood, right in this area. Again, you'll be going into that area as well, which is a service area anyway. So we've got Fort Lauderdale covered, but in this case, stay in this area as well. But this kind of shows you exactly where we have Miami-Dade. And then we've got Fort Lauderdale, which is Broward County. So make sure you know Broward County. You can Google the counties to give you specific cities that the service area includes, right? So again, the shaded area, right? And then, you know, Boca is just really close by. Again, you can go out there and just come back in, because that's where we are getting most of our rides concentrated from, the shaded area, the shaded service areas, okay? Service area for Tampa, same thing, of course. You stay in the shaded. You can always go to St. Petersburg, where people like to travel there, but come on back. Make sure you stay within the shaded area so that you get your pings, and that's where the concentration of riders are coming from at this moment. So we just wanted to give you that information so you can be as efficient as possible, as I said. And then service area Orlando, same scenario. Stay within the blue shaded area. You're more than welcome to drive out there and drop people off, because that's where they may be on the outside of the area, which is okay. Just come on back in, okay? And then before we go into driver recognition, I got some updates come in. First thing,
it'll go back.
And so We have, okay, service area regions. Okay, I did mention that. We are going to have it on the website. So all those regions will be on our websites. Go to viberides.com. It'll be on the driver and the rider side. So it'll be informative. You have access to those specific areas at this point. Driver Android challenges, we fixed that. The blank map, we talked about that. Okay, exact location of your GPS. So we had some drivers, and thank you so much, drivers. We appreciate that so very much. And even the riders, we have both riders and drivers texting in, calling in, and emailing support to let us know of the challenges they're experiencing out in the field. And that's phenomenal. We appreciate you, family. We work together as a team. So they're letting us know a few of the challenges are out there. And yeah, drivers had some challenges, right? So their exact location GPS was not updating. So if you had this experience as well, we want to let you know we fixed that. So drivers were in one area, and for some reason the GPS was lagging. It wasn't catching up. So if an hour ago you were on one side of town and you were literally on the other, the GPS wasn't catching up. So your icon, your car icon or your location icon wasn't up to date. So now the GPS is up to date. Your location is your location. Okay, so that's up to date, just so you know. You've got the push notification for refreshing. That'll be easy. All you have to do is click on that. We talked about that. Once you're in a ride, so that's both for driver and rider. So once you're in a ride, you can't cancel a ride, but you can end a ride. So there is a drawer, and I'm going to explain that on the next call. There's a drawer that you flick up, and I'm sure a lot of the drivers who are working our app and navigating through our app and learning it will see that you can flick up a drawer on the bottom of your app. And in that drawer, what happens is if you are in pre-ride mode, you do have a cancellation button, right? Because you have a chance to cancel, and so does a rider. That's a blue button. So you'll see a blue cancel button. Once you're in rider mode, so you've got a customer in your vehicle and you're driving to their location, you cannot cancel a ride at this point. But you can not cancel, but you can end the ride. So on the bottom, in that box, and you flip it up on the bottom of your app, it will turn to purple where you can click it to end a ride. Okay, so it's not a cancellation, it's an ending. What else do we have? That's Word, no drivers. Okay, so we have a push notification, and I'm not sure if I mentioned that on the list, but I got this morning. In regards to if there are no drivers in your area, so this is for the rider, they now will get a push notification to let them know, because sometimes, you know, the icon was kind of spinning, which means the app was thinking, and it was happening on both sides, the driver and the rider. So in this case, on the rider, now a push notification will come up to let the rider know, thank you for wanting to ride with us at Vibe Rides, but at this point in time, we don't have a driver available, so that we can be efficient and keep moving, but we also want to communicate with the riders that there was no driver at that point. And then, you have an interesting, okay, this is for the drivers out there. So we've got drivers registering like crazy, and it's really, really exciting. And I'd love to see that type of excitement where people are running through and registering themselves to be a driver, which is phenomenal. But there's drivers out there that haven't been online. And the reason why we're asking you and you know, the road warriors out there and even the riders out there who know drivers, get them to go online to test their app. We want to make sure that their phone is working properly, that they've got the bandwidth they need. So when we get through this, because a lot of drivers aren't driving right now because they're either sick or they don't want to be on the road at this moment, we still need to get them online. So if you can spread the word, and if you're a driver that hasn't been online, just get online, test your app, make sure you're good, not having any challenges, and that way you'll be ready to rock when you're ready to rock or roll when you're driving. And then the last thing, which is a great thing, is the rider Implementing a rewards program for customers. We want you to be able to keep your customers coming back. So what we're going to do is we're going to implement a rewards program for them. We're going to announce that shortly, very soon. And so that's part of promoting business and getting your riders back to you and getting those pings for you, right? So we want to keep that relationship going, and we just wanted to let you know that we have that rewards program coming very, very soon. And that's it for the updates. It's all you, Scott.
Awesome. Thank you, Angela. And again, I just want to let you drivers know that Angela works very, very closely with our development team every hour of every day, going through to make sure everything is there for you. She is the biggest advocate for the drivers out there that we have at Vibe Rides. She goes through all the chats. She goes through from both Facebook Live and from Zoom, make sure we can answer all those questions. So I just want to again emphasize to people on the call, as if there's somebody new on the call here, a lot of the questions we see get to be repetitive, and we see the same questions that come up time after time. We've got great resources out there. Mr. Frederick Brim, who's our Director of Customer Amazement, is actually put together great support that you can find at viberides.com. So please take a look at that. If you go back, we did some training sessions for the last couple of weeks of March. Those are out on Vibe Rides on Facebook, and you can also find them out. I believe we can find them out on Zoom also, but a lot of detail in there, a lot of detail. So what we'd like to do is not go backwards. We want to make sure we go forwards with current information. So if you've got questions, take some time and go back and review some of the past training sessions that we did. And again, thank you, Angela, for going through that detail with all the drivers today to keep them up to speed. So with that, I'm going to go on and talk a little bit about driver recognition. We talked about this on Tuesday. I just want to emphasize again to you drivers out there is we want to do some recognitions for you. Like Angela mentioned, that we're putting together a program for the riders. That's done through our business partner, My Boomerang, that does our branding and our marketing support to drive the riders there. But we also want to have some fun, and we want to do some programs for you, the drivers out there. So Angela, can we bring back up the slides, please?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so driver recognition. Let's talk about it. We went over this on Tuesday. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but let's go on to the first one. Okay, now this is something new that we're doing, and I think this is going to be fun. So we've got three categories. We've got the Monaco Grand Prix, we've got the Le Mans, and we've got what we call the pole position. So this is the way we're looking at these driver recognition. It'll be some friendly competition. But we know that you guys out there, some of you drive differently. Some of you like to do the, I'll call it the downtown route, you know, up and down the strip, moving drivers back and forth on a Friday or Saturday night. Other strategies, some people like to do the airport runs. So we're trying to do this and make it kind of a win-win and look at the different categories and the different styles you have. So the Monaco Grand Prix, we're looking at this from a recognition standpoint as to who takes the most trips, who has the most individual trips that they take. And we're going to go through and we're going to monitor this, and we're going to look at this on a weekly basis, monthly, quarterly, and yearly. Somebody may come in and say, wow, I can't compete because you guys launched April 1st and I jumped in August. But you know what? Everybody will get a chance to compete. You come in August versus April 1st, you'll still be able to be part of the weekly competition and the monthly competition and the quarterly competition. So it's going to be fun. The Monaco Grand Prix, like I said, we're going to focus on those top three drivers who have the most trips in. And that's something that we're going to be announcing probably either Tuesday or Thursday on our calls. Who's the winner for that? The Le Mans, a little bit different. Now, the Le Mans competition and the recognition is going to be based on mileage. How many miles did you drive? So when you pick up that guy from the airport and all of a sudden he wants to go 100 miles away, wow, you're going to jump up really high when we look at who drives the most miles. So that's going to be kind of fun too. Same thing as a Grand Prix. We're going to talk about it weekly. We're going to give you who the top three winners are. We'll have a monthly, quarterly, and even an annual. So we'll be able to say who is our distance drivers, who are the guys behind the wheel driving the distance. And then the final categories we call pole position. And pole position, as we know, that's the top spot in any race that goes out there. So for the pole position, we're going to weight this with a number of factors. We're going to look at the amount of trips you've taken. We're going to look at the mileage, and we're going to look at your ratings. Ratings are going to fall in very critical in this, that you're going to have, the ratings are going to be a big piece to make sure you're doing great customer service. And we'll also have our winners for pole position. That's going to be a monthly and an annual recognition. So pole position will be monthly and annual. And again, we'll go through the top 3 people for those. Like I said, this is just kind of a fun thing that we're doing. It'll be fun for you guys to tune in, guys and gals, excuse me, to tune in and see who those top 3 people are. So with that, let's go on to the next slide, please, Angela. Okay, April promotions. We're sitting here, April promotions. I want to run through those quick. We still have, what is it? April has 30 days, I think. We still have 21 days next in the month. Today's April 9th. Wow. Just realized today's April 9th. It's my mom's birthday today. So happy birthday to my mom. She's not listening in, but she's 89 today. So 89 today for my mom. It's her birthday. Anyways, it's April 9th. There's still time in the month to take advantage of these promotions. We've talked about them. I kind of look at these are almost gimmies. These are so easy to do. Every driver should be doing them. So let's go on to the first slide, Angela, of the April promotions. This was an April promotion that was announced by our CEO, Mr. Holton Buggs, on our launch back on April 1st. And for this, all you have to do is complete 25 rides in April, which would probably be about 2 rides a day is all you would have to do that. And with there, you're going to get $200 versus the Vibe gear in this bundle. So let's take a look at the next slide and see exactly what you're going to get. Okay, we've got a thermos, we got a polo shirt, we've got a hoodie, we've got a t-shirt, we got a Vibe cap. All of this you can get for only doing 25 rides in the month of April. And I think for all of you out there that you'll realize that, wow, that's pretty easy to do. I can actually go through and do that. And this would be great gear for you to have when you pick up your rider. They'll know that, wow, look at this. He's actually branded with all the Vibe ride stuff. You got your thermos there. You can keep your coffee in to drink. As you go along, you have a nice cap too. So again, 25 rides in the month of April is all it takes is to get this bundle of Vibe gear. Next slide, please, Angela. Okay, another, what I consider, this is even easier than the last one to do. The Vibe 5 driver promotion. You get a $50 reward for completing your initial 5 rides after joining Vibe Rides. So, okay, 5 rides is all it takes. Again, we're sitting here on April 9th. Everybody should be able to accomplish this. Every driver that comes in should be able to accomplish this. $50 reward after 5 initial rides, but it's important. You must maintain a rating, a driver rating of 4.2. So if we take a look at these 2 promotions that we put together for the drivers, 25 rides, all the Vibe gear together, the Vibe 5 driver promotion, you get $50 off after your initial 5 rides, all very, very attainable, very attainable. Next slide, please, Angela. Okay, just to refresh everybody here, we made a decision on Tuesday this week that we're going to come on Tuesday and Thursday. From some of our prior meetings last week, we said we were going to come on only on Tuesday. We've expanded that to Tuesday and Thursday just to make sure we're communicating with all the drivers out there, what's critical, what the changes are. So it's going to be Tuesday and Thursday going forward. Tuesday and Thursday going forward, so tune in. You're going to want to find out who won the recognition. You're going to want to find out who got the Monaco Grand Prix Award. You're going to want to find out if you're one of the top 3 in the Le Mans recognition. So make sure you tune in on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Next slide, please. Okay, this is just our disclaimer, and we'll go on to the last slide there, please, Angela. So that's going to wrap it up for today. Angela, anything else that we missed that you can think of?
No, I just wanted to let everyone know that we will be giving them specifics in regards to payments and payment processing and the details in regards to your earnings and things like that. We have questions regarding that, and we will get you that information. So you'd have to come back to the trainings, you know, keep up on what's going on, because there's updates all the time, and that's regarding everything, every aspect of Vibe Rides, and that's the earnings and the details on the app and everything in between, because that's how you are going to be better and greater and giving your service in regards to rides, and you have to be up to date on that. So it's really important to be on these calls so you get all the info, so you know what's happening. So come on back. Make sure Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you can't make Tuesday, you can make Thursday. If you can't make Tuesday, Thursday, it's recorded. You can go back and check it out. So there's no reason not to be in the loop, and you want to be in the loop, right? So.
Thanks, Angela. And you know what? I think you bring up a good point. Next Tuesday, let's go through the iPayout training again. I think it'd be good just to bring it up, as long as we're coming into paying out the funds and the commissions and everything and the fares for the drivers. So let's do that again next Tuesday. That'd be great.
Absolutely.
And with that, thank you all for tuning in for us today. We will see you here next Tuesday. Drive smart, be safe. Thank you so much. Bye-bye for now.